I'm focused on doing. It's just part of it. You know, there's entertainers and there's competitors. And I totally understand that. And my job is to compete. And that's what I'm focused on doing.
Good so far. And this one is picked off and going back the other way. It's Andrew Makuba. A pick six the other way.
Really, really good. Yeah, cool. Proud of you. All right. Cool. Really, really nice job.
You're not fully proud, kinda.
I'm
kinda proud.
Look, for the flip side, was it perfect? No, but she made plays, she operated.
In a bold but questionable decision, Stefanski chose to start Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders in the second preseason game. But after watching the game play out, it became painfully obvious why Sanders should have been in that spot. Gabriel struggled the entire time. No points, no big completions, nothing to justify the faith Stefanski placed in him. Even surrounded by a strong first-team defense, his mistakes were costly. But despite all that, he acted like he had everything under control, even throwing a cheap shot at Shedeur by calling him an entertainer instead of a real competitor. Gabriel knows, deep down, that Shedeur Sanders is the better quarterback. But rather than admit it, he took a low blow during his post-game interview, making a snarky comment about there being entertainers and competitors in the league. Really, as if Sanders isn't a competitor. This is a fifth-round pick who's already turning heads across the NFL with his arm talent and leadership. That's the definition of a competitor. The hate toward Shedeur is loud, but the problem is, it's not backed up by performance. Gabriel's on-field play isn't even close to what Shedeur has shown. Yet he's the one trying to downplay Sanders. The facts are obvious. Shedeur is the one actually competing at a high level, not Gabriel. Gabriel started the game cautiously, trying to play it safe against the Eagles' first-team defense. With elite protection in front of him, he had the perfect chance to showcase his command of the offense. But even with that advantage, he made almost no progress. His play was overly conservative, more focused on not messing up than on making plays. And then, once those first-team defenders left and the pressure shifted, the cracks widened. Gabriel began to show his true limitations. Without top-tier protection, he fumbled the ball and turned it over, proving once again that when real pressure hits, he collapses.
Ground, Eagles got it. I believe the Eagles recovered.
Oh my gosh, look who it is.
Things were starting to look bleak out on the field, and it didn't go unnoticed. Even coach Kevin Stefanski had to bring it up during his pregame press conference. He opened by saying that overall, things were moving in the right direction for the Browns, but he couldn't avoid addressing the glaring issues. He acknowledged that the two critical turnovers, both a direct result of Dillon Gabriel's mistakes, had a serious impact on the team's momentum. It was one of the few moments where Stefanski actually showed some accountability, admitting that those errors shifted the game in a way the Browns simply couldn't recover from.
Two giveaways really were the difference there in that first half, because I thought we were doing some really good things, but then we got that takeaway, had a takeaway negated by an offside, so we're just trying to hammer home.
So did they manage to walk away with a win? Technically, yes, but the turning point had nothing to do with the backup quarterbacks. It was the defense that saved the day. In the third quarter, KJ Henry made the play of the game, picking off a pass and returning it 45 yards for a touchdown. That defensive spark broke things open and helped the Browns secure a 22-13 preseason victory over the Philadelphia Eagles on Saturday. It was a clear reminder that sometimes the defense has to step up and carry the load when the offense simply isn't getting it done.
KJ Henry into the end zone for a touchdown.
On the Eagles' side, another name that stood out was Andrew Makuba, who seemed to be everywhere on the field. His read on Dillon Gabriel's throw was one of the early highlights of the game, at least until KJ Henry came up with his own spectacular moment. Even with Henry's huge interception return, the Browns struggled to deal with Makuba's nonstop motor. His ability to shut down plays and create chaos kept him in the spotlight all game long. One thing became absolutely clear after watching every snap: Shedeur Sanders is on an entirely different level compared to Dillon Gabriel, and it's not just about touchdowns. Although, let's be honest, Shedeur threw 2 and Gabriel threw none. The real difference was how each quarterback managed the offense. When Gabriel was under center, his constant checkdown throws forced receivers to stay boxed in underneath, limiting any chance for big plays or momentum. In contrast, Shedeur consistently hit receivers like Floria and Larvadane on deeper, more aggressive routes, stretching the field and putting real stress on the defense. It's a completely different level of command and vision, and it's easy to see why Shedeur's ability to open up an offense puts him far ahead. Emmanuel Acho didn't hold back when breaking down Shedeur's performance. He analyzed every throw, every read, and emphasized just how elite this young quarterback already looks. According to Acho, Shedeur has that rare ability to dismantle a defense, not just when he has space, but even when the coverage is tight and pressure is high. Those impossible throws that most quarterbacks won't even try, Shedeur hits them with confidence and precision. Passes that look like they have no chance are placed perfectly, like it's routine. Acho summed up his thoughts on Shedeur with one word: perfect.
Defensive back has eyes on Shedeur and he drops off too quickly. This can be a pick. This can be going the other way. So Shedeur, he gets the ball out of his hands, but the accuracy of this football between not one, but two defenders and a fully outstretched defender, pinpoint perfect.
Through it all, Shedeur stayed humble. No flashy celebrations, no ego, no arrogance. His post-game interview reflected the same maturity he showed on the field. When asked what being a quarterback meant to him, he said the best part was leading the team. For him, it all comes down to one key factor: consistency. And that's exactly what they showed, remaining calm, fighting through adversity, and finding a way to win even after falling behind early. This wasn't just another preseason victory. It was a display of resilience and teamwork, all anchored by Shedeur's calm, steady leadership.
I would say the most important thing of being a quarterback is leading your team. I would say definitely the scoreboard. I think we did that pretty good. And just being consistent, even though if things going our way or not going our way, being able to bounce back and not stay in the hole. Being a quarterback is going to be ups, downs, it's going to be pros, cons, everything. So you just got to stay level-headed through it.
Even GM Andrew took a moment to let Shedeur Sanders know how proud he was of him. The two shared a bit of lighthearted banter, but the look in Andrew's eye said it all. Full admiration for how Shedeur performed. It wasn't just about getting the win. It was the way Shedeur led the team, with confidence, calmness, and real skill. That short exchange showed the connection between them. But more than that, it proved how much respect Shedeur has earned throughout the building. His ability to deliver in key moments clearly made a strong impression on the people who matter most.
Really, really good. Yeah, cool. Proud of you. All right.
Cool.
Really, really nice job.
You're not fully proud, kinda.
I'm
kinda proud.
Look, for your first side, was a perfect no, but you made plays, you operated, it's just stacking.
I love when you tell the facts, did you? No, but it's okay.
Listen, you did a nice job, okay? So just take what you learned from tonight.
Listen, you did a nice job, okay? Just take what you learned from tonight. That's what GM Andrew told Shedeur after the game. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel spent more time taking cheap shots at Shedeur instead of focusing on fixing his own performance. The contrast between the two couldn't be more obvious. Shedeur is trained to embrace pressure, rise above adversity, and lift his team. Dillon, on the other hand, seemed more focused on throwing shade at a teammate rather than proving his own worth. That alone says a lot about both quarterbacks and their mentality. One is focused on leadership and performance, the other on excuses and jabs. One leads with work, the other leads with words. In the end, the entire game served as a powerful reminder of why Shedeur Sanders stands out on and off the field. From the opening snap, it was clear Shedeur's command, accuracy, and leadership were far beyond Dillon Gabriel's. While Gabriel stalled against the first-team defense, Shedeur stayed composed, hit his receivers downfield, and opened up the entire offense. His ability to maintain cool under pressure, drop tough throws in tight windows, and guide his team to a win showed everyone exactly what kind of quarterback he is, a true competitor who rises when the lights are brightest. In contrast, Gabriel's night was full of hesitation, missed chances, and turnovers. He played it safe, couldn't move the chains, and when the pressure truly hit, he folded. This game didn't just highlight the gap in talent, it exposed a deeper difference in character. Shedeur Sanders leads with results. Dillon Gabriel is still grasping what it means to compete at this level. At this point, it's not just about mechanics, it's about maturity and presence. Shedeur proved he's the better player and the better leader. That much was obvious to anyone watching. So what do you think? Was Dillon Gabriel wasting his time taking jabs at Shedeur instead of fixing his own flaws? How important is a quarterback's character off the field when it comes to leadership on it? Is it Shedeur's humble demeanor that sets him apart, or is it his pure skill and mental toughness? Let us know in the comments. We want to hear your take on both quarterbacks, their leadership styles, and who truly deserves to lead this team moving forward.